Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Humbo here, bringing you a brand new commentary, a brand new video, and today we're going to be going over my top strategies, my best strategies to dominate in arena. Guys, if you're trying to become an arena champion, or you've already hit champion, you're trying to push higher up in points, I recently went over 20,000 points myself, and this is with actually only playing arena for the last month pretty seriously, and I have gotten so much better. Like, my rate of improvement over really focusing on arena this last month has been crazy. As a lot of you guys know, I main creative for a long time. I've been doing tons of creative, but now I've taken myself into arena this season and gone really hard with the practice. So I have so many new strategies to share with you. Just make sure you watch this video all the way through for the absolute best results. If you guys want all the tips, all the information that I've accumulated, also make sure you drop a sub on the channel with the noties if I do go on to help you, man. Road to 50,000 subs. I also live stream on Twitch consistently. Just make sure you guys check that out. Link in description if you want to ask me questions live on my stream. But without further ado, let's get into these arena tips and strategies, man. Let's go. All right, guys. So the first major strategy that we're going to be talking about today is how to manage your bus fare. So as you guys know, I'm sure in whatever arena you're in, you're taking on a bus fare. If you're in like contender 3 or contender 2, it's 40 to 30 bus fare every single time. And if you guys are in champ 1 or 2, it's 60. And then in my division, champ 3, which is the highest division, division 10, the bus fare is -70 every single game. And a really important thing, if you guys are trying to push up into champs, is managing that bus fare. So you don't want to have days where you're tilting super bad on points because you're dying early or getting third-partied in solos, and you're not making it to that first top 25 round of placement. As a lot of you guys know, if you get to top 25 in an arena match, you are awarded 60 points, which, unless you're in the highest division like me, completely covers the bus fare and may even give you 10 or 20 points extra. So it is so important that in your arena matches, you are trying to coast into that top 25. And the first major tip that I have for you guys to make sure you're securing that top 25 placement in these 60 hype points is to be really aware of the point bubble, man. You need to be checking that leaderboard to see when there's 27, 28 players alive, and you're 2, 3, 4 eliminations away from getting that 60 hype. And you need to make sure this is a time where you're not taking risky third parties. You're not taking the extra fight. You're trying to rotate away if you're getting pressured, if someone's sniping at you. Basically, you're not like taking any ego chows. You're just boxing up, you're tunneling back, you know, you're using your rotation, you're getting away from fights. You're not taking challenges that are 50-50, all these types of things. Because in a second here, you're gonna get 60 hype points, which is gonna cover the bus fare and then some, depending on your division, for the whole match, right? And this is so important if you're trying to push arena points, because every time you're having one of those games where you're tilting and losing points, that's points that's 1, 2, 3, 4 kills away. Basically, by dying before that first round of hype hits, you are now having to work the points back in your next game, which basically what I'm saying is you're playing 2 matches of Fortnite, which can be like 30, 40 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, a decent amount of your playing time just to break even on points, which is where people get in that cycle, right? They have a good game, then they die twice and don't even think about it because it was quick, but now you have to play a long match out, 2 matches out to get those points back, which is putting you in a hamster wheel. So the key is, man, try your best to be very aware of getting that top 25 every time. Another really good strategy is to land at a soft POI. You guys should be landing at a POI in arena. I always recommend taking 1 to 2 fights off spawn and finding a place that you're really comfortable fighting at early. It's super important, guys. You don't want to be landing in the middle of nowhere and getting pretty bad loot just so you don't take any fights at all. You have to get to a place where you are comfortable taking at least 1 fight off rip wherever you're landing. It's super important that you do land at a POI and get used to off rip fighting, because it is a huge part of Fortnite. It's not something that you guys should run from. You should lean into it, but landing in an extremely contested place also isn't a great idea, because it's very easy to tilt points, and the RNG is just so much higher depending on how many people are landing with you. So I would definitely recommend that. All right, guys, the next strategy that I'm going to be talking about is actually how important it is to carry floppers in arena, especially if you guys are in duos and you have one person carrying 4 floppers. This can be so important if you guys have a place to fish near your POI, wherever you and your duo, or even just you as a solo, decide to land at, or trios, obviously. And this is so important because it is so popular and just happens so much that you are storm fighting in arena. People play super dumb in arena. A lot of times they are being aggressive even when they know it's a bad play and storm is super far. And having floppers is so important for 2 reasons. Number 1, you can play those storm fights with a lot more patience than your opponent. He's going to be playing much more aggressive, and you can make him pay for that because he has a much more limited time on his HP, while you were sitting there with 3-4 floppers, so you can play a lot more patient and take a lot better peaks. And what this is going to lead to, like we were talking about, is just a lot better placement, right? You're not going to be dying as much or getting griefed and tilted. I think having floppers is super, super underrated. Also, after you guys clear a storm fight, then you have the ability to rotate to zone. And by the time you're getting to zone, I know you guys have found situations a lot where you make it to zone after a big storm fight and you're so happy you made it back to zone, and then a team is right there or a solo's right there holding you and you guys have no HP left for the fight. You don't have time to hit a 10-second med kit and you are going to die there because you're just at a major HP disadvantage. Having floppers on you is huge, man. It allows you to pop those really quick and you're going to be able to take on that fight right when you get into zone properly. You're not going to be scrambling trying to get a med kit off. I'm telling you guys, it's very, very underrated. Please take that strategy into account. All right, guys, the next major strategy that we're going to be talking about is taking advantage of gold and upgrading in this new season, guys. So with the big change to upgrading weapons, now only certain AIs in the game allow you to upgrade using gold, which I'm sure a lot of you know by now, and you can do certain tasks to get more gold from them, which just got a buff as well. So it is extremely important now more than ever to be very mindful of where these AIs are located and what tasks you have to accomplish to get more gold from them. If you guys are even landing at a POI that's 1 or 2 over from that location and rotating there late as the storm comes in when the fighting there may be ceased or done, especially at a place like Caddy Corner, you can literally go into that game. Number one, you can get a bounty from the AI, which is always important because it gives you a really, really good idea of where the closest fight is, where the closest enemy team or opponent is, and it helps you avoid them until that placement round. So that's part one. Part two is you're coming out of there with purple weapons nearly every single time. And guys, if you have an epic shotgun and a scar, you are going to be winning like so many more fights than you normally would, right? Like we all know this. Obviously, being able to go out of there with high weapon RNG, like that's very, very important. So overall, I would highly recommend you guys take advantage of gold being in the game. Schedule your rotations around an AI that allows upgrading. That is a major strategy for this season, man. And now that I've covered how to get that first round of placement secured and how to make it through a lot of the early game situations and put yourself in a good position for success, I'm going to be talking about how to actually take and win fights confidently, because guys, yes, we want to avoid fights until that top 25 and just take that one offer fight as much as we can. But as we all know, there are plenty of situations where we're going to run into somebody and a fight is going to be inevitable. And playing really scared and not knowing how to take the initiative in a fight and set the tone is going to hurt you guys, and people are going to smell that weakness and push you really, really aggressively. They're not going to respect you. They're not going to know when it's time to back off when storm's coming. Guys, you need to be able to defend yourself and take mid-game fights, and I'm going to give some tips for that right now. And this first tip applies to solos, duos, or trios, but it all works a little differently depending. So it is so important that you guys are getting the first shots on your opponent. Guys, 1 or 2 AR shots to start a fight off. If you guys can take 60, 70 health off an opponent, number one, they are immediately going to be playing in the defensive posture. You were the aggressor, you set the tone of the whole fight, and if you guys happen to get in the box and exploit in really fast while they're healing, the odds of you winning a trade-off when they're at 140, 130 HP and you're at 200 are extremely high compared to if it was even health. Now in duos and trios, this can involve you guys singling out one player of the enemy team and shooting them at the same time and then pressuring them. It all depends on the situation, but the main thing that I'm talking about here is be very mindful and take your time getting first shots on an enemy opponent. If you guys can hide below a ridge line or a rock and get those first couple AR shots in while they're farming or not paying attention or they're interacting with an AI, this is going to help your percentage in winning fights mid-game so much, guys. Not to mention the fact that just one snipe shot can lead to you winning an entire engagement. So all I'm saying here is be really patient and pick out a good time to start an engagement when you can, when you have the upper hand. In the next fighting tip that I'm going to be going over is what to do once an enemy player cracks your shield, right? So you've gotten hit for like 110, 120 HP, and now you really need time to hit minis, hit a slurpfish, Basically, you need to get back in the fight. And so many of you guys make the mistake of only running once you're low on health. You become completely defensive, and this allows that other player to play very confident. They smell blood in the water. They're going to be pushing you very aggressively, which will run your mats out and likely lead to a third party. The proper decision here a lot of times is going to be making that enemy player respect you and taking advantage of the fact that they're overly aggressing towards you. So if you're cracked for shield, this opponent is going to be playing super aggressive to try to cut off your ability to heal. This is a perfect time to take a right hand peek shot to open up an edit that he is not expecting you to do while low. A lot of times you're going to win that trade because they're going to have their pickaxe out. They're going to be swinging, aggressing, not expecting you to do that. Just by making one of those simple shots and taking some health on him, he's now going to have to back up. He's going to have to heal. He's going to have to respect you a lot more as a player. And this is going to lead to a much higher survival rate in arena long term, which is going to get you down to that top 25 that we're trying to get to every game. Just remember that, guys. Top 25 is the most important thing if you want to push arena points. But yeah, I'm going to leave you with that. I really hope this video and these tips helped you guys somewhat. Just make sure you drop a sub with the noise on and a like on this video if it did help you, and drop a comment saying it did. It really does help your boy Humbo, man. I appreciate all of the support. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, man. Peace.